You are sitting in a crowded congressional hearing room. A senator leans into the microphone and delivers a pointed, high-stakes question to a witness. Then, absolute dead air. In modern professional environments, we are conditioned to view that kind of gap as a failure. A silence lasting more than a second or two reads as unpreparedness, panic, or weakness. When hit with a difficult question, the average professional will scramble. They throw rushed words at the problem, eager to prove they belong at the table by filling the empty space. Corporate and political cultures have fallen for a very specific delusion. We routinely mistake volume for vision. Yet the data contradicts this assumption. Look across the highest levels of global management, and you will find that roughly 40% of top executives identify as introverts. Barack Obama built his political influence on a notoriously deliberate cadence, often taking lengthy pauses to weigh his phrasing before speaking. Elon Musk relies on agonizingly long pauses during interviews and meetings, forcing everyone else to wait while he processes complex propositions in real time. And in sports, Sachin Tendulkar, an extreme introvert, commanded absolute loyalty from a highly extroverted Indian cricket team through careful listening rather than dominant speaking. These figures suggest that in a high-stakes environment, the weight of a conversation often settles with whoever dictates the pace and duration of the void. To understand how this works, look at what happens inside the body when a sudden, high-stakes question comes your way. The nervous system perceives the unexpected attention as a literal threat. It shifts into an autopilot panic response, flooding the body with anxiety, that leaks out as rapid, uncalculated speech. Mature leaders short-circuit this biological reaction by deploying a tactic known as the executive pause. Taking a single, deliberate inhale and exhale forces oxygen into the brain. It manually transitions the nervous system from reactive panic to analytical thought. A low-level doer rushes to answer because their priority is speed, and executive pauses because they value depth. Mark Zuckerberg demonstrates this functional approach. He will often process data internally for an uncomfortable amount of time before launching an idea, turning his introverted tendency into a distinct operational advantage. Claiming this quiet time requires what executive coaches call entitlement energy. It is the deeply internalized belief that your thoughts are valuable enough to make other people wait for them. While the pause acts as a biological shield, it also functions as an aggressive tactical weapon. Human beings are highly uncomfortable with conversational ambiguity. When information is withheld, the brain neurologically registers that absence as a threat, creating a phenomenon known as cognitive pressure. Applying strategic silence after a proposal removes the expected feedback loop. The conversation loses rhythm, creating an unbearable vacuum. To resolve this ambiguity, the opponent's brain scrambles. They begin over-explaining, volunteering unforced concessions, or revealing weak points in their argument. Beneath the surface, a shift in group dynamics occurs. The collective subconscious of the room automatically assigns senior authority to the individual who speaks the least. This silence weaponizes a primal need for resolution, forcing an opponent to negotiate against their own internal pressure. This investigation pivots from the tactical use of quiet to its cultural foundations. In Japan, silence operates as an invisible infrastructure of daily human interaction. The practice of harage, literally translated as stomach art, is the centuries-old method of expressing true intentions strictly through implication rather than explicit statements. Anthropologist Taki Libra identified 4 distinct dimensions to this Japanese silence: truthfulness, social discretion, embarrassment, and defiance. Elite leaders in these environments utilize harage to govern subordinates entirely through timing, facial expressions, and nonverbal cues, bypassing the need for direct spoken orders. Western art mirrors this profound gap between mere talking and actual communication. The playwright Harold Pinter built his entire theatrical career by using silence to reveal the unsaid truth between his characters. Mastering this level of communication proves a counterintuitive reality. Sometimes the absence of words is the most concentrated form of meaning. Whether acting as a biological shield, a negotiation weapon, or a cultural language, silence forces us to evaluate a single question. Is this quiet demeanor an inherent personality trait or a calculated strategy? This reveals the paradox of the void. Freezing because you lack an answer is reactive silence. It signals an absolute loss of control. Strategic silence operates differently. It projects total authority, specifically because it is an intentional choice to disrupt and capture the room's momentum. True influence requires shifting the gravity of the room. It requires forcing everyone else to abandon their frantic pace and conform to your deliberate cadence. The greatest leaders don't win by having the fastest answers. They win by possessing the sheer audacity to say absolutely nothing until they are ready.